What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, everybody? Is your boy Royal King Brian, aka Brian, and you guys are now tuned in to another Leave a Legacy show. Today's guest is going to be a special guest. Is going to be a guest that is very, very different than any guest that we have had on the show as of yet. A lot of y'all already might know who it is just because by association, she is with me at all times. She is the one and only, my girlfriend, the queen herself, Royal Queen Danelli, Danelli Lopez.
Hey, hey. Hi, everyone, and thanks for the lovely invitation and
Of course, of
introduction.
course. How do you feel? How you doing?
I'm good. We're so far from each other.
Awesome, awesome. So this is gonna be your first time on the Leave a Legacy show, and I just want to let everybody know you can see the show right now on YouTube. But I also have a special announcement. You also gonna be able to hear this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play. So if you can't get enough of me and Royal Queen Danelli, you got us in all the streaming platforms in order to listen to us. So here we go. Are you ready for some questions?
Go ahead.
Taking matters into your own hands. So, I want to highlight you specifically because I chose you to be a guest specifically, just because you are so different than all the guests that I have had here. Everybody that I have had here is either an entrepreneur, a person that's self employed, and most of us, I think all of us so far, have not gone to school. So, you are the first one that doesn't fit that mold. And I want to be able to highlight people who just have a regular job and just went to school because that is an accomplishment in itself. And I think it needs to be celebrated as well. So, Denelli, for those of you guys that don't know, just graduated last year with her master's degree. So that's a round of
Thank
applause,
you.
round of applause, round of applause. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, for the people who don't know you, who are you? Where do you come from? And what is it that you do?
Okay, so I'm Danelle Lopez. I'll say my whole name, Danelle Lopez. Um, and just like you, I'm from the Dominican Republic. Well, my parents are. I always say that I'm Dominican because, that's where my roots are from. Um, Grew up in New York City, born and raised in New York City, and recently moved to California. And I'm loving it every part of it. And yeah, like Brian said, I went to 4 years of college, did my bachelor's degree, and I also just completed my master's degree in public health. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, anything else that I have to
Oh,
say?
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah, like I said, I want to highlight people, your accomplishments, because not everybody needs to be a businessman. Not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. I know in 2020, 2021, it has become a popular thing, but going to school and graduating is also an achievement. It's also something that's very hard to do. And like I've just learned recently, not many people, Latina people, especially women, graduate with a master's degree. So I want to highlight that because you're in that small percentage of the people who have.
Yeah, 4%. I made it to the 4% of Latinos who have a master's degree. And just thinking about that is like crazy. Just because like 4% is nothing compared to the world. So just want to let people know that it is possible, and if that's the way that you want to do and it's something that you inspire to do, that definitely go for it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So let's talk about school. Let's stay on that topic. As many people know, I'm not the biggest person when it comes to school. So a lot of people might be wondering, like, hey, how does that dynamic work? Like, Denelli's like so into school, she gets straight A's, and Brian is the complete opposite, gets straight D's. Um, so how is it that works? A lot of people might have that thing, but how was it that were you always into school? Did you always know since young that you were just gonna, hey, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna get my bachelor's, I'm gonna get my master's? Is that something that you just like grew up knowing that you wanted to do, or is that something that as you've gotten older you were just like, it's just something that I want to do, not that I need to?
That's an interesting question because I don't think that I always wanted to go to school. I think that growing up Latino and growing up first generation ever going to anything, completing high school, completing college, completing a master's degree in my family is like it's a blessing, right, to be able to do that. But I also feel that that route that I took and going to school and doing all the school was mainly just because I felt that I needed to accomplish that for my parents because they left everything in the Dominican Republic and they came to the United States to give us a better life. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to take all the advantages that they gave us. So yeah, I don't think it was a choice that I always wanted to go to school and do all these years of school. But I definitely don't regret it. I don't think that it was only I only did it for my parents. That was a big part. Um, but I also did it for myself. And for my sisters, I want to be an example for them, and for other just women in my life. Um, just always striving to do the best that I can so that I can leave an example and just leave a legacy whenever I pass. People not know me for just the things that I did, but that I inspired them to do something better with their life or do something that they thought they might have not been able to do when they did it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah. So, how was it? I know when I was in college, because I went to college, I just didn't finish. I found it really, really hard to balance school, friendships, families, goals, and seeing you in first. I wasn't there for the first for your bachelor's, but I was there for you getting your master's, and I was like, the way that you balance school, your friends, you would still hang out with your friends, you would still go out, come home, get work done, and not really have any excuses. When an assignment was due, you would get it done, and you had good grades. I wasn't capable of doing any of that. I would have to like lay down and just focus on school if I was in school, or drop everything and focus on something else. So where do you think you learned that work life balance, or that school
Um,
life balance?
for bachelor's, I think it was pretty easy, just because I left home. Like I didn't stay in New York. I went to school upstate New York, and I was dorming. So I think that because I left, that kind of like that was the stepping stone of me figuring out my work-life balance. Um, you're surrounded by everyone who's also going to school, so it wasn't that hard to like hang out with people and like do homework or study together and then also go ahead and party together. So that kind of like it created its own schedule. Like I was able to follow it. It did get hard when I was doing my master's because I was working full time, and I was going to school full time. I didn't do part time school. There was times that I was doing school during like December break, and it was hard. But I think that because I knew that I wanted to get this, like my master's was something that I wanted to do. It was the first time that I felt like this is something I'm doing for myself because it's something that I truly do believe and I truly love public health, and it's something that I wanted to do. That I put a lot of effort into it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was easy. It definitely was hard. A lot of sleepless nights, all by myself in the kitchen, just doing homework. But I also felt like I couldn't just bury myself into school. I also had to work full time. I also had to be, with my family, be your partner, be there with Winter. So it's kind of like, I think I already know that school is important, but it's not the most important thing. So it wasn't something that I buried myself into. So I think that's what gave me the balance that I needed, and it eventually worked out.
Yeah, I definitely could say it worked out for sure. Obviously, being firsthand, I know what happens in front of the scenes, and I know what happens behind the scenes. And even like you see, like guys, like you see that degree right there. That's not my degree. That's hers. And I just want to. I always put it because I want to highlight her achievements. So yeah, if you thought that was mine, it's not mine. It's hers. That's her master's degree. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. So, um, being the first, I am the first of my cousins. I am the first of my siblings. I'm the first, just in general, I'm the first one that was born here out in my family. Everybody else was born in DR. And that's why I wanted to title this episode, Taking Matters into Your Own Hands. When I was growing up, me being born first, I don't know, I've always felt like I've had to I had a sense of purpose of like I have to be the person that makes something happen. Like my family came here, my grandparents specifically are the first ones that came here. So as being the oldest, did you ever feel like that responsibility? Like I need to move my family's name forward. I need to move my family forward. It's up to me. Just off that pressure being the first one.
Yes, definitely. I think I still feel that. Um, and I feel like I'll always feel that way. Uh, just because I want to be, like I said before, I want to be not only an example to my sisters and my family, but to everyone I come across. Um, Usually, when taking it back to school, like, yeah, being the first one out of my family to like graduate high school was an achievement of its own, right? And then completing my bachelor's and being the first ones to do that was also another first. So I've had a lot of firsts, and I think, yes, it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of also praise, because I am very thankful that my family has always been there to support me. And whether they know it or not, I think they do. They are the biggest motor for me to do all those things. Sorry, I'm about to cry. But yeah, it is. They are always the motor for me to continue to do everything that I do.
Yes, and you've done a great job. I must say, you've done a great job. Again, I think that's another thing that it helps our connection. We have that understanding for each other that we are the first ones, and we are the
Yeah.
ones that put all that weight on our back, and we choose to do it on our own. Like no one is putting that pressure on us. We kind of just put that pressure on ourselves. But I enjoy doing it. I
Yeah.
enjoy being that person. Like I'm gonna try my best. I want to change everything for my family, and I'm gonna go for it as hard as I can.
Yeah, I was the first one to leave too, so they could come to the West Coast.
Yeah,
They
in
never
fact,
been
we're the
over
first ones to come to the
here.
West Coast. Oh man, so that's an amazing. And one more time, again, I want to highlight: not everybody needs to be entrepreneur. Not everybody needs to be a business person. You can go to school and be a boss. You can go to school and be a badass. You can go to school and straight kill it in life, right? So entrepreneurship is not for everybody. But if that route don't work for you, then there's another route that will open up for you, and there's another route that will work for you. And the same thing, if you go to school and that's just not your route, you guys can look at me and like I feel like we're the perfect example of that. Like I'm the one that
Balance, yeah.
doesn't like it, and it's like we're complete opposites. And then like you said, you don't really like it, but you get it done anyway. And that's something that I have learned from you. I have learned work ethic. I thought I had a great work ethic, but I see you like you're just like on go mode at all times. And I just want to say that I have learned so much from you. And even though I'm older and I'm supposed to be the wiser one, I have learned a lot from you. You're very mature, and I'm very, very proud of you.
Dang, I also learned a lot from you, so
Yeah.
we balance each other.
So another thing that might many people might not know, besides working, you are also a stock investor. You are also investing in crypto. You have a 401k. You have life insurance. So you have so many other avenues of like income. Why do you think it's important to have multiple sources of income?
So that's a nice segue, right? Because I would have never had any of those things if it wasn't for you. So yes, I've been a lot. I'm a bookworm, you can say. Not a crazy bookworm, but it was actually 2020 was a big year for us. I think that um, it allowed me to have the income that I had and just open up all those venues, right? You taught me a lot about investing and all those things. Like I still don't understand as much as you do, but you're always there to always help me out, you know. And I'm very, very grateful for that because if it wasn't for you, I would have never done that. I think that it is important for someone to have a diverse uh, source of income. It just doesn't matter. It can't just be from your everyday job. It has to come from different areas. You can't be tied down to just one thing because, like we have seen, things can happen and you can lose that job one day, and then what are you gonna do, right? So, yeah, I mean, I still couldn't explain to you everything that I have. I have so many things, and it's little things. Like it's not like I have thousands and thousands of dollars in those things, but I can see how it. I can see it grow, and I can see how it works. And it just gets me more and more like, wow, I could have been doing this since before I left college. Like now that I think about it, like when I went off to college for those 4 years, I was getting refund checks that I should have been investing. Like if
Same,
anyone
same.
right now is watching this video and goes to college, you know those nice refund checks that you get that you still have to pay back, but like you have some time to pay back. Don't spend it on like stupid stuff, right? Um, Start small. Like you don't have to put the whole refund check into it, but like open up a Roth IRA. Invest in I don't know, in anything you want. Start small. Go on Robinhood. It's a very friendly place where you can just start putting in dollars and you'll see it grow. It'll take a little bit, but imagine if I would have started this when I was 18. I'm 27 now. It would have been such a such a difference, right? I mean, I'm proud of that I started. I'm just proud that I started, period. But I really do wish that I would have known this before, especially like my youth when I was away in college, because that's when I was like, that's when you start developing yourself, like, and because I left home for the first time, I was by myself. I was exploring different things, and I felt like if I would have known that, I would have definitely spent all my money instead of, you know, buying stupid clothes or stuff. I would definitely put a lot of that money into investing. And I think that that's something that I want to change with like my kids, right? My parents didn't have the luxury they didn't even, to this day, they probably don't even know what the stock market is, right? So something that I definitely want my kids to know about at an early age so they can start. I already started with my little sister, so definitely something that I want everyone to know about. And if you're young and you're watching this or you happen to watch it later, please start investing. Small,
Yeah,
but
start
start.
investing small, and I think a lot of people get scared and intimidated. I know when I would go to Wall Street when I was a teenager, and I would just see people in suits and $1 million cars and stuff, and I'm just like, whoa, I can't get in here. But actually, everybody could start small. Everybody small is different to each other, but you can start small. Like there's an app called Acorns, there's an app called Robinhood, and you can
And then
start with
now
five
it's so much
dollars.
easier. Now it's definitely so much easier because you can do
Yeah.
it from your phone.
And it's so much easier to get started now. It's definitely one thing that I look back, like you said, when I was a teenager and be like, wow, I spent so much money on nonsense when I could have invested it. And I probably could have had bought all that stuff now with investments instead of like, having to save
Liabilities.
up for it. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's definitely something that I wish I would have done. My uncle Raymond, he's a LA had look nice with Yankees always better. We got Gabby. Hey, we tuned in for sure, for sure. So we got people coming in. We got 3 likes right now. So I want to thank everybody for the likes as well. So yeah, when it comes to investing, you do. A lot of people ask me personally, like, "Hey, you need to have a business to invest." No, you can have a regular job and invest. You could technically be unemployed and invest,
Invest, yeah.
and it will change your entire life as long as it take, it has to take time to develop and stuff like that. But yeah, look at my sisters. Like my sisters have investments, and like my sisters are 18. Like they invested in crypto, they invested in stocks. So I'm like, damn, I wish I would have done that too.
Yeah.
So this is the Leave a Legacy show. So I have to ask you, what is your legacy? What is that you want to be remembered for? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind when we have kids? Because we're gonna have kids one day. And what is it that you just want to be remembered for?
Ugh, I'm such a Pisces. I'm about to cry already. No, I don't know. I think you don't really think about, things like that. But when you do it, it like hits home because it's like, I want to be remembered just for being a caring person. I don't want to be remembered for all the accolades that I did or anything that I ever did. Just remembering for the memories that I spent with people, just the time that I spent with people, um, and just getting to know people. Right? I don't want to be remembered by my job. My job, right, could replace me at any moment. But I want to remember. I want to be remembered by the people that I touched. It could have been with just a smile that right, you're just walking by and you smile at a person and that made their day. Like, but my legacy for my kids, I just want to be able to show them that they can do whatever they put their mind to. That doing whatever that they do, I will be supportive, right? I think our parents did the best that they could, with the little that they had, and I'm so grateful for that. And I just want to do that for my kids. Shit, sheesh.
It's all good. You see the passion, guys? Do you see, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not watching this on Spotify or whatever,
Yeah,
the
I'm also
passion is
just a
in her eyes.
crybaby. I'm like such a Pisces.
Just blame it on the sun. Blame it on the California sun.
Yeah, it's the glare on the eyes, but yeah, for the legacy, I just want my kids to have a better life that I did, and I'm already having a good life, so I can only imagine what their life is gonna be like.
Yeah, if you look back, our lives have been. It's crazy because we're at that age that we were born before the internet, um,
Yeah,
and then we've also lived through the digitalization of the internet and like how everything has changed. I remember going to school and it would be like a pen and a notebook. Now people go to school and it's like a phone and a laptop.
yeah,
I remember when the internet came about, it was like, oh, that's not a real thing. And like now basically everything is on the internet. So
yeah,
I could imagine what our kids' future is gonna be. It's gonna be so different than ours. It's gonna be crazy. But I think the same thing, your legacy is very similar to mine. I just want to inspire my kids to know that they can do it. And not just say it, I want to actually like show them that you can. And I think
yeah,
you're a great example. Again, like it just works out perfectly. Like if our kids is like, "Hey, I want to go to college," you have mom, and if the kids is like, "Hey, I don't want to go to college. I want to do my own thing," then they have me. So I think we're gonna have that covered pretty well. So let's see.
yes.
Okay, so final questions before we go into these short questions. Now at 27 years old, what is something that you have learned that you will take with you for the next 27 years of your life?
Oof, oof, that's a good question. You've been getting good at these questions, huh? Um, I think that it is okay to ask for help. I think, I don't know. I think that would be the best lesson that I can take and tell other people too. I feel like, um, we live in a society that where people think that they have to do things on their own, and it's very individualistic. But in reality, if you think about it, you can't do anything on your own. You need help from other people. It could be the slightest thing, but let's say you're struggling with just one thing and you just ask a friend, they can give you a different idea, like that can just take you in a different route that you thought. And just, yeah, I just think asking for help, and surrounding yourself with like people who are going to uplift you at every moment. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of people around me who have done that for me. And right now, even at my just moving to California, I feel like we started from zero, and I feel like the people that I've met here have helped me so much. That I see people as mentors now, and that they were put in my path for a reason, and that those reasons are working out for themselves, right? So definitely something that I want to tell everyone, and for everybody to just know that people, if you want help, people are out there to help, right? That you're not put in this world by yourself, right? You're surrounded by 7 billion different people, right? And just use other people. One head or maybe two heads are better than one. That's the saying, right? So a lot more heads is better than one. I do truly believe that, and I think that that's something that will make you successful in anything that you do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's like the perfect answer
Yeah,
because yeah,
I
it's
get it
definitely the perfect
too.
answer.
I
It's
get it from
definitely the
you.
perfect answer. Surrounding yourself with people that will uplift you and help you out, and that there are people willing to help. There are people willing to help.
Yeah,
I have felt that. It's the same thing. Like when you said we moved to California with zero. We moved here. We didn't have any jobs lined up. We didn't
yeah,
have any connections, and it's worked out because there are people that are gonna come across your pathway and they're gonna help you out when you do need help. You just gotta put yourself out there and be open to receiving that help. So
yeah.
yeah, perfect answer. So we're about to segue to some short questions before we get up out of here, and you gotta
Okay.
answer them quickly. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So hot or cold?
Hot
Pizza or tacos?
tacos. Now that I'm in California, it's tacos. I know,
Oh,
right?
I wasn't expecting that. Uh,
I
Jeep
do miss
or
pizza.
BMW?
New York pizza, I miss so much. I can't wait to have one.
When I go to New York, that's one of the first things I want. I definitely want pizza.
Yeah, definitely want pizza, but tacos for sure. There's just so many
Okay.
different types.
So
Never
number
even think
three, Jeep or BMW?
Jeep gang.
Wow, that is crazy. My BMW has driven you for years. That is wild.
I love my
Okay,
car.
sneakers or heels?
Sneakers. Sneakers for
Yeah.
sure. I'm a sneaker per I if I don't need to wear heels, I don't want to. You know that.
All right. Do you want a boy or you want a girl?
I want a boy first.
That's crazy because I want a girl.
We'll see who wins. Whatever God gives us, that's what we're gonna
All right.
get.
What day is our anniversary on?
August 25th.
Yeah, and
Why are
how
you trying to
many
put me
years
on the
are we
spot like
about to make?
it's coming up? What was it you said?
How many years are we about to make right now, like in like 11 days?
4.
Yeah.
Cuatro. And it feels like an eternity.
Cuatro. That's crazy, right? It's so
It
crazy.
feels
We're
like
about
10
to,
or 15, I think.
I feel like it's yeah, it's felt so much more. And I feel like it's gone by so quickly. Like we've done so much in about
Yeah.
to be 4 years.
Only
So
4 years.
yeah. So I want to thank you for being a guest. Again, you have been amazing. You are an amazing role model to a lot of people. Like again, I said, you do not need to be an entrepreneur in order to be successful. Everybody has their own path, everybody has their own journey, and that journey is going to lead you whichever way it is that your heart desires to go. And you can be a role model to anybody. Like again, Danelli's a role model to me. I'm inspired by her all the time. And I'm pretty sure many people are inspired by your story. So thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for giving me the time and the platform to share my story. And I just want to say that I'm so proud of you too. You've been doing your thing, and I love that you are, and you know that I'm here to support everything that you do, and yeah, we're
Yeah,
here.
Denali is a scholar. Denali is a YouTuber. Denali is an investor. Denali is a dog mom. She does it all. She does it all. She wears all hats. She wears all different type of hats. So once again, thank you for being on the Leave a Legacy show, guys. She is going to be on Spotify and everything. She's going to be the second guest that we put up there. We already have a guest up there right now. So if you wasn't able to watch it on video, I will be announcing where you could get that on Spotify. Is there anything you want to say before I let you go?
To all the viewers, thank you for watching, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. Again, I apologize again for being such a Pisces, but this is raw. This is what you get. This is live. And I truly do want everyone to know that they can do whatever they put their minds to. Um, Hard work is always going to be hard, but at the end of the day, that work is going to pay off, and you just have to trust the process and trust yourself, more importantly. Um, and always ask for help, right? You can't do anything by yourself. And I truly believe that whoever thinks that has had help, right? You can't do it by yourself. So ask for help. Everyone's there to support. Um, and thank you everybody for watching and supporting Brian and his dreams and my dreams now too, because I love when he does this. This is what you were meant for.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna let you go. I'll see you in like a few seconds. All right, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Leave a Legacy show. I'm excited to be back. We took a little break because we had to set everything up. You guys can see I got a podcast microphone now and a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting those thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section and we'll do a Q&A later on at some point later on. Thank you again, RoyalQueenDanely, for coming on my show, for being such an amazing guest, for being such an amazing person. And I love you very much. I love you guys, everybody that watched. Shout out to my uncle that was watching. Shout out to Gabby who was watching. Shout out to all the thumbs up that we have on the channel. It's your boy, Royal Queen Brian. That was RoyalQueenDanely. And we are out of here. It's the Leave a Legacy show, y'all. Hat.